why I'm saying with this video that I'm deciding to take a different path, and I'm gonna go the path that's hasn't been paved before, take a different route.
Breaking news into CBS Sports HQ. Judge Claudia Wilkin has granted final approval of the House settlement. The $2.8 billion settlement ends a 5-year lawsuit against the NCAA and its largest conferences.
I've been telling myself that I'm not down with the way this weather. Niggas ain't saying what up. Niggas ain't saying what up. I'm hoping it's big and
What's goody? It's your boy Ace Boogie. How y'all doing? AKA Armon Bean, AKA Ace Boogie, whatever y'all want to call me. Mr. Always Do Better. First off, I just want to welcome y'all to my channel. I know this is kind of abrupt video. This is a very interesting topic. If you're reading the title of this, I don't know what it's named. NCAA versus House settlement ended my career. But the important thing is, I do have some news to tell you, some stuff I've been kind of sitting on for a while, waiting to inform y'all of. I was kind of waiting to see how it play out, see what I wanted to do. But a lot has come into this decision. There's been a lot of thought, a lot of prayer, a lot of advising that's been done about what I should do, which route I should take. And we're finally at a conclusion. So today, I'm not sure if I'm uploading this on July 1st, but today that I'm recording this is July 1st. I know if many of you know, if you have any idea what's been going on in college football the past few months, past few weeks. Really, I think the court case has been going on since like 2000, 2019, something like that. But it finally got settled within the past month or so. And many of y'all don't know, unless you're very close to me, that I was a part of that settlement, that 105 cut that was done by the NCAA. I was also a part of the grandfathering athletes there, where they were going to bring back some of those athletes. I know if y'all saw Judge Wilkins a few weeks ago, she said that she would only pass the settlement for the NCAA versus House if they grandfathered in players. The grandfather rule came into play, but it only came into play at a school's discretion. So a lot of these schools had numerous amount of athletes they had cut, and they were deciding to bring one of those back. As many of y'all know, I had recently announced and had been put out that I was playing for University of Utah. I'd actually suited up for them during this spring, and I was playing cornerback for them this spring. And there's a lot of talks about me possibly playing both ways, offense and defensively, possibly switching positions full time to wide receiver. And I kind of have an update. You could say it's inside news. I really don't think it's sad news. Just kind of how it's all played out. So when I initially had gotten to the University of Utah, I know many of y'all know, like, I took an entire year off and took care of my father. My dad had stage 4 blood cancer. So I took the entire 2024 season off. I dropped out of school at Pittsburgh State, and after coming back, you know, I had been told, I'm not going to say any names, but a NFL GM, I'm not going to say what team either, had told me to go back to school. They told me my options were to possibly go back to school, which I was completely against. I talked to my trainer, Will Brown, down at Exos in Phoenix, Arizona, and you know, he kind of sat with me and talked to me about it and told me it'd be a good idea to go back to school. My other options was going to play in the UFL or CFL and making my way up through those ranks to get to the NFL. And I had decided to go back to school. I was not open to going back to Pittsburgh State whatsoever, just because of the 2 years I had experienced there, and just, you know, even though I had a good coaching staff, I was really fond of Coach Tom Anthony, but I just felt like it was time for me to move. After sitting off with a year with my dad, I had, you know, plans to go move to Salt Lake City to be closer to my daughter. If any of you are close to me or have just seen me post her, she's originally grown up in Salt Lake City, Utah, so that was really the deciding factor about where I wanted to go. You know, I had a couple Big 12 schools that I was talking to. I had a D2 school in the MIAA that I was talking to, but it was between Colorado, Arizona State, and here. and I ended up choosing to come here, and I decided to walk on. I'd like to thank Sharif Shah and the entire staff at University of Utah. Shout out to every single one of my teammates. If any of y'all are watching this, man, it really hurts me to be talking about this, because there's a lot of talks about me coming back and playing, and then when I sat down and spoke with Shah, there was a clause in me playing that was a condition that I had to make to be able to play and be eligible this season. With the grandfather rule and all, we thought that was going to be an issue, but that wasn't even an issue. The deciding factor was, and what Shaw had sit down and we had like a real heart-to-heart about, was engineering. I know many of y'all know, some of y'all know, some of you don't know. It's public information, but I am actually a mechanical engineer. I've been a mechanical engineer my entire college career, and it's what I want to do with my life when I'm done with football. There's a lot of different things in that area. Mechanical is pretty broad, but in the area that I want to get into, automotive, biomedical technology, just tech in general. And I've dabbled here, learning some code languages, dealing with different circuitry, wire tree, and just the programs that I've been through at the schools I've been. But with me transferring how I have and everything, and then coming to University of Utah, I spent my last spring in engineering. I actually got honor roll this past spring, which I just found out a few days ago. No one had told me. But for me to be eligible and for me to be able to play in this upcoming 2025 season for the University of Utah, I would actually have to switch out of engineering, which I've been an engineering student since I started college, and I was almost done with my degree. Me transferring here pulls it back a little bit, but I was still almost done. But for me to be eligible, I would have to take 20 summer classes, 20 summer credits, as well as pass the spring engineering courses I had, and switch from my major entirely, take an entire different course load for the fall, and I would be graduating with, I think, 1 credit left in the spring. And when Shaw had sat down and had the heart-to-heart with me, one of the things he was telling me is like, you're one of the only people on this team that never needed football. Football was never something that you had to do. You didn't have to make it out using football. That's never been something, like a mindset that you've had to have, your whole life, really. And he was telling me, like, off of your brain alone, you could make billions of dollars. You will make billions of dollars. And he was like, you're going to help a lot of people when you get your degree with whatever you choose to do. And he was like, there's a time constraint as well, with the fact that I'm about to be able to see my daughter a lot more and have her around, and I want to be able to give her a lot more time and have flexibility in schedule. And being in a Division I college athlete, that's like the exact opposite of what you're signing up for. They're telling you when to eat, poop, sleep, what clothes to wear, what time to wear them, what color you're supposed to be wearing, what shoes, what socks. That's just how it goes. And it kind of put me in a disarray, because I realized, and I was willing to. I'm not even gonna sit here and lie to y'all. I honestly could say I was willing to give up everything. Hold up, pause. Everything to play this season, and it was kind of the decision that was made for me. When Shaw had talked down to me, if any of y'all know who Sharif Shah is, his college career ended with him having a major neck injury that led to him not declaring for the draft and missing his senior season, and he ended up going into law a lot sooner than he planned to. He did some broadcasting, I believe, too, but didn't end up having an NFL career, which he would have been extremely successful from the things I've heard, from things I've saw. Sharif Shah was a dog, so I know that was a lot bigger than him, and that's kind of what he was telling me. You could go out there and at any moment, any given play, risk that one bad hit, one big hit, and it could be all over with. And then also just I would, if I had chosen to do that, I would be walking into that season giving up engineering, and I would have to come back and be certified as an engineer after getting my master's. I would go undergrad not being considered an engineer, and walk out there you possibly get hurt and then that's gone, and you never know, it could happen any single play. And that's a reality that I needed to accept and realize that what I was trying to sacrifice and what I was willing to sacrifice wasn't worth what I was, trying to get. For me, I definitely love this game. I love this game a lot. I've given up a lot of things. I've sacrificed a lot of things to play this game and to play at the level that I've been able to play it at and to reach certain points that I've reached, For me, and my understanding when we were first coming in, before all of this was kind of revealed to me, it was like this was the year that I was going to get back, every opportunity that I lost, that had been kind of taken from me in different ways. And, I was really looking forward to that, and I was working really hard. And I was, trying to do everything I could do for myself and, to put my family in the best position, so I thought, and to help my team out, with me being, at the time, being willing to move positions and play a different side of the ball because it's what the team needed. It was something I felt like I was capable of doing and something that, Whittingham and the rest of the staff believed that I was capable of doing. But, just how things have played out with the celibate, even with me being, having the opportunity to be brought back in and just looking at that, realizing what I would give up. The main thing I thought back to, and if you've been around me my whole life, you know this, and you've heard me say this before, like when I was a kid, when I was growing up in Memphis, like there wasn't many examples of kids doing engineering or kids taking a different path. Everybody wanted to be a rapper. Everybody wanted to be, drug dealer or, go do this and that. There wasn't many examples for me to look up to. And I always told myself, and like one of the main things me and my brother were big on, it was like be the example, create the example for yourself. And that also kind of makes me, look at that and be like, you do have a different route. You do have a different path you could take. And I'm kind of in a situation that's like, well, if I do choose to play, then I'm giving up my life's work. And for me as a kid, I always grew up since I was 9 years old. I remember being 9 years old and sitting in my room and making the decision. I was like, I want to play college football and I want to be an engineer. And what that came from, I was watching Tony Stark and Iron Man. I was like, Googled what he was, and it said he was an aerospace engineer and a mechanical engineer. And I was like, that's what I want to do. I was like, yeah, that's it. And I have done every single thing in my ability, really. I've struggled with different things, but like I've done everything I could do, to make that happen for myself. And I have. I've lived a really dope college career. I've gotten to travel America, see a lot of different things. Never been on a plane until I was 18. First time I ever went on a plane, I was freshman of the week at Mississippi State. And it was the Ed Bowl, and I, got to go on a plane. That was the first time I'd ever been on a plane. It was like an hour plane drive, but that was huge for me. Like this game's really impacted my life and given me so many different opportunities and connected me to so many different people. It's truly been a blessing for me. But I don't feel like for me that this game is over. For me, the decision that I'm making now is what's best for myself long term and what's best for my daughter. Yes, I would love to go out there and go suit up with the guys and go play and, play out my last year of college. But I also understand, like, there's a lot of things bigger than football, and I had conversations with a lot of my different teammates that didn't see eye to eye with me and would tell me, go to a different university, go transfer to a different university, like, make that happen, chase that dream. And it's like I've been chasing, I've been running, I've been going after this for so long, and I put so much into it. It's not that I'm ready to give it up, but I realized, for me at least, if I want that to continue, I have to take a different path because, giving up my life's work in engineering and getting that paper, getting that degree, for myself, for my daughter, for my family, it just means more than that opportunity and taking that path, and sacrificing that to continue down that path. So, and this is kind of, full circle because, like, I know a lot of y'all were looking for me to post a lot of content about like day in the life and things that we're doing in the building while I was playing for the University of Utah. And like I would like to let y'all know I did try to run that by Kyle Whittingham. Kyle was not going for it. We love Kyle, but Kyle was very big on knowing what's going on in the building, knowing what workouts we're doing, like what our routines were and stuff like that. And that was holding me back from being able to put a lot of the content out that I had planned to put out and wanted to put out. not being coached by Deion Sanders, so that media frenzy is a little bit different, you feel me? But this is opening the door for me, and this is another thing I'm bringing up, like, for me, football isn't over. I've definitely spoke with some agents, different people around the league and different contacts, and telling me, like, it's nothing for you to go work out in front of a UFL team, CFL team, or go to one of the UFL showcases and make that happen for you if you still do. But for me, there's more important things that are in front of me right now that are more urgent. And that's kind of why I'm saying with this video that I'm deciding to take a different path. And I'm gonna go the path that's hasn't been paved before, take a different route, and I want to use my YouTube account, my YouTube channel, to kind of record that journey and take y'all along with me, and finally be able to give y'all insight to the things that I do on a regular basis, the things that have helped me get to the point that I've gotten to in athletics and football and college, and give back. One of the big things that I wanted to do when I got done with my career was start running camps and start posting content for kids so that they can see different drills and, get different motivation from me, and just kind of see where it goes. And also, I'm going to use this channel to be preparing myself for the journey, for what I'm trying to accomplish. Those showcases, those workouts are down the line for me within the next couple months, and I kind of want to take y'all along and document some of the training that I've been doing, as well as the training that I'm doing, releasing that, editing up, maybe doing some cool videos to some music, or maybe some how-tos or different drills that I think will be beneficial either side of the ball, offense or defense. I know there's a lot of defensive backs out there that's been watching me. I know there's a lot of receivers that's out there been watching me, and there's straight up football addicts, people that really enjoy seeing me on the camera. I don't know why, and want content from me. So I guess I'm gonna give y'all that now. But I just wanted to say, it's not over for me. Football's not over for me. I don't think it's over. I think right now I just need to make the best decision for myself, my child, and my family, and creating, stability, creating, generational wealth, something I can carry on that can't be taken from me. This game could end in a matter of seconds, in a matter of a play, and I want to establish something that can't be taken from me, that I will have. I could see myself definitely getting this engineering degree in the next couple months, and then possibly going down the path of playing in the UFL and taking up, possibly going to the NFL. I definitely believe I'm capable of doing that. I'm only 24. I'm old in college years, but I'm not really that old in professional years. I definitely have a lot of time to make that happen for myself if I'd like to, if I stay in shape, if I keep working. So I just want to say, for me, football's not over. This isn't over for me. There's definitely different paths you can go to with today's world, being with the internet and whatnot, having the ability to post those workouts, have other people around the world view it. I've met in person, guys like Destroying, guys like different college players I've had that have taken different routes, that maybe had a shot at the NFL and got put down to the UFL, or had a successful career in the CFL and were brought back up to the NFL. So, there's different ways that it can happen, different ways it can go. I've seen people never play college before and end up in the NFL, ended up getting drafted to the NFL. It was a guy last year, I think, that played, didn't have a college career, played the CFL, and ended up getting drafted in the NFL. I can't remember what exact team it was. I think it was the Jets, and he was a DB. So, I'm interested to see what the future holds. This kind of opens the door for me to do a lot more things, to really post any kind of content I want, do anything I want on this channel, and I'm pretty excited about it. I'm also excited about the fact, being able to put my full focus on engineering without the schedule. I'm definitely going to miss the guys and being able to play with my teammates, and, missing the possibility of what this season could be. But, everything happens for a reason, and I genuinely feel like God's put me in this position because He's choosing me to take a different path. I don't think He's closing the door for football. I think that's something that I'll decide throughout the next couple months and doing what I'm doing and still training, and decide if I really want to pursue that and take the avenue. But I also think, there's a different chapter for this that's beginning. I think I'm closing and ending off my college chapter, and I'm interested to see what life could bring, whether that be involved in football or not. I just wanted to record this video to give you guys an update, kind of give y'all some insight on what's happening with me, what's happened with this whole thing, how the whole NCAA settlement has affected me, or affected everyone really. I know I'm definitely one of probably like 5,000 different players. I don't know how many walk-ons, but and I never forget, we got the nasty walk-ons right there. You know what I'm saying? It's definitely made part of the story. It's been an incredible journey. I'm really glad I got to end my journey here, my college career, at this university. I'm glad I'm in position to still get my engineering degree from here. And I feel like there's so much, there's so much opportunity, so much uncharted territory that I could be touching. And, there's a lot more that I want to do that I've kind of been held back from doing because of the position I was in playing at this level. I'm just excited. I really am. So yeah, that was pretty much all I had to talk about. That was an update, life update. I have, Lord knows how much content coming. I don't even know where to start. I'm currently working on I'm gonna build a gaming PC. That's been in the works for a while, and I'm finally about to sit down and do that because I have the time to do it. And actually, I'm really looking into posting some content on Instagram, TikTok, doing reels, doing some live streaming on TikTok, as well as YouTube and Twitch. Streaming some games with some friends. Probably some of my teammates. I'm still really tight with a lot of the team. A lot of them are the only people I hang out with, especially my boys Rav and Schmidt. Pretty much always with them. So hopefully I can get them to hop on with me. Maybe play some NCAA. Maybe play some other things. We don't know. But yeah, I just want you guys to kind of get an insight. I'm gonna try to do my best to keep y'all updated about what's going on, to produce content for y'all, whether it be vlogs or workout videos or just random stuff I decide to put up or that I'm doing in my life and share it. I hope y'all looking forward to that. Subscribe, like, comment. Leave a comment in the description telling me what you think about all of this, what you have to say, things that you've heard about the settlement, things that you're excited about for this season, and maybe if you're a Utah fan, talking about Utah, what you think. I'm really excited for this team regardless. I think we have a chance at going to the playoffs. I think we've had the defense for it. I definitely think the offense is where it needs to be to make that happen, with or without me. I have a lot of faith in my teammates and my guys that I've been playing with the past couple months, that I played with over the spring, and the new guys that they brought in. It's going to be a good year. It's going to be a good season. This next 6 months is going to be crazy. I'm interested to see where it goes and how it all plays out. I just want to, thank y'all guys for tuning in. Stay tuned. A lot on the way. It's your boy Ace Bug. I'll see y'all later. Peace.
I've been telling myself